Hello and welcome to all you Aries. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for October 2014. It's your month. It's Aries month. I'm very glad, not only because I have my moon in Aries, but I'm very glad for the Aries people because it's a month for you. It's a month about what your energy is all about. And it's the month of eclipses, it's the month of a Mercury retrograde, and it's happening on your most important areas of your life, which is you and other people. So we all have 12 houses in the horoscope, and the first versus the seventh is the most important, and of course also the fourth versus the 10th, which is home and family. But these are the actions there's happening a lot of stuff there, and that has to do with the eclipse, and it has in your sign. On the 8th of October, there's an eclipse on 15 degrees, so if you have got planets around there, but even if you've got a planet like on 1 degree of Aries, you will feel that. And the solar eclipse is on the 23rd in Scorpio, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the thing is, these eclipses, you don't feel them bang on that particular day. It's the whole month, this energy. And what is the theme here? The theme is breaking free of old patterns. And Aries is associated with that anyway, because Aries is a sign of the pioneer, it's the sign of the go-getter, it's the sign of the start, of the beginning, of the soldier, of the action. And this eclipse is about two things. It's about Moon Uranus, which is in your sign, which is about breaking free from old patterns, and it's about the moon opposite Venus, which is a stressful aspect, but I think very important to understand how this works. Now if you find, let's start with the moon Venus, because a lot of people think, oh, moon Venus, these are very gentle planets, this is not difficult. It is when it is in an opposition, and difficult in this way that it's very much in life, isn't it, that we feel ambivalent, that we feel two different kind of contradictory emotions at the same time. And for you, as it is in the first verse of the 7th house, it's relationship. It could be relationships, especially when you have a rising sign of Aries. So this means that there is this fight almost between what you want and what you need. What you want may not be what you need, and vice versa. It can be played out in this way. It can mean like you need, or you feel that you need this person, but that you want another person, for instance. Or it has to do with energies that have to do with these two things that don't seem to work along together. But what's the solution? The solution is, and this is often with oppositions, that it forces us to look at it. It forces us to deal with it. That's what the Aries people want to do. They rather have action instead of being, you know, in this, could it be, could it not be, is it this way, is it that way? They hate that, normally and generally. So they rather go one way and go forwards instead of, oh, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Now the solution here is the Moon-Uranus conjunction, which is in your sign. So whatever it is that you want to break yourself free from, the very focus should be, or it's best to be, your needs. What you need in your life when it comes to your own personality, your own temperament, your own persona, and to show who you really are. And notwithstanding the fact that can be a bit in contradiction towards how you relate to others. It doesn't mean to say that you have to break up all your relationships. No, it simply means that you have to revisit what your needs. You have to, especially if you're that kind of Aries who has been building up in relationship, who has been, you know, you're building up the tension, you're giving in too much, and all of a sudden it bursts. Well, now is the time to look at it. Not to burst, hopefully. For some it will be that way. But to look at it in how can I balance this out? How can I solve this? And the thing is that, of course, you always try to connect with your higher self, to connect with the highest best of yourself, or how do you call that? Or if you believe in God, to connect with that or connect with the universe. But you can't neglect your needs. That's basically the message of you, for you Aries people. And it's the change of old patterns. So I give you an example because for everyone, it's depending on their context, it can be totally different. Give you an example. Let's say you are single for a long time and you feel like you need to be in a relationship, but you're single for some reason. You are, well, there are reasons, but there could be reasons, but you are single for a long time. You have had enough of it. So the old pattern of your relationships was that of no relationship. And now is a time that you can break through in October to at least be open towards the need that you have of a relationship. So maybe there were fears involved or whatever, but the understanding is already halfway. And then you can plan your actions accordingly to be more open or whatever. So it could be like that, that your pattern that shifts is towards going towards people. Notwithstanding the fact the moon and the Uranus is in your first house, which is you. On the other hand, it could mean that, say you are in a relationship and there is a bit too much of this going on. You feel, Aries people in general, they need a lot of space in relationships, but it could be a time now that you review that you say, hey, my needs are more space. And therefore, you don't cut off straight away. It could be for some people, again, but you could say, okay, I have to face my needs and I have to adjust it. I have to adjust my relationship. And for others, it's that there is too much space, for instance, in a relationship. And then there's no relationship, actually. And that is the thing that you want to break through. So it depends on everyone's personal context, but this is a very interesting time for the Aries people if you want to adjust your relationships. If you want to break free, if you want to connect more with your needs, it is now the time to do so. And the Scorpio new moon in your 8th house is all about new beginnings. It's transformational energy. So it fits in that when you start with you looking to adjust relationships in general, you will feel more that it frees you up and that you can you transform, and therefore intimacy, you can gain more intimacy in relationships because that's the new moon in your 8th house. So very interesting lunar eclipse. I could talk hours and hours about it. But I made a separate video for you people who are interested in astrology or want a bit more in depth about this energy. Check out the link that I've posted here below, so you can have a look at that as well. Thank you very much for listening. Oh, and the last thing I want to say is the Mercury in your 7th house of relationships. It's about communication. So communicate about your needs. And listen also to their needs. So it's a two-way traffic. Thanks again for listening and see you next month. Bye-bye.